Still anxiously waiting on the arrival of something, but that's okay. I'm anxiously be waiting on other things too.
Sometimes I like waiting for stuff, Troop. Like
Yeah.
I shop on Amazon a lot. So on Amazon, you can see where it's at. So if you buy something from, let's say, Ohio, you'll see it's in Ohio, and then the next day you'll see it's in New York. So you're excited when you're buying stuff. But I understand what you mean. Like when sometimes it's not fun.
Yeah.
When something's supposed to be there earlier than it is.
Yeah. My only problem is because I got today and tomorrow where I don't really have to go anyplace. But Thursday I have a seminar that I have to go to, a leadership seminar. So I have to drive on the highway, and then Friday I have to go up to New Hampshire till Monday. So,
Okay.
yeah, I would like to be able to do those things, but we'll see how things turn out. I'll let the Lord play it out. Won't revert back to my old days where I do what the military taught me to do. You get in trouble for that.
Yeah, you don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah. How come?
Because getting in trouble, it kind of messes things up.
This is
Getting in
so
trouble
okay.
with what?
I don't get in trouble. Someone's here.
Go ahead.
Hey, it's Amala in the house. Hope everyone's doing well.
Yeah.
All right.
Mala
So
is
we got a lot of stuff we need to talk about. We need to talk about Joel Osteen. We need to talk about Texas
and school.
and school.
And we got to talk about school and talking about many, many different things.
All right.
I'm going to start out with school, to tell
All
you
right.
the truth, because I want people to understand, like I said in the other show and everything. There's little kids out there now, and they're in school, and they're crossing against the light, and they're doing the things that little kids do. So they're back, but that's not really what I want to talk about. I want to talk about that they start this school year on a different note. Let's not try to make comparisons between public school and charter schools and try to bring those to like they're equal and stuff, because they're not. You know, the public school has a problem where it teaches to the test, and when you teach to the test, it doesn't go any higher than the test, and it doesn't instill any kind of creative type of learning in the kid. It's just cognitive learning. They're just learning regurgitation. And with just regurgitation, the only thing that comes out of that is whatever you put in. But if you're teaching, like in other places where they actually get to use their creativity, now what's going to come out of that is things. They're going to be able to think. They're going to be able to make an assessment of their own. Not saying that the assessment is going to be right, but it's going to be an assessment. They're going to say, I want to understand this, so I want to look at this. So they'll research this. They'll learn how to do different type of things like that on their own, with the guidance of the teachers. But just teaching to the test, you'll end up teaching to the lowest common denominator, whoever's the slowest in the class, and that's where the level of teaching will end up. Even if it doesn't want to, that's where it's going to end up, because the teachers and the school wants to get the highest markings that they can get from the test. So those that can will already been able to surpass those that can't when it comes to teaching with the test. And that's all I really wanted to say to the teachers out there. Wishing you a good year, and I'm hoping that it's a year where you really try to look at and enforce some of the creative skills that these kids nowadays have seen to generate on their own, and not just worry about the standardized test that's going to give you a grading and a marking and stuff. Although they're important, they're not the most important thing, because the most important thing is the development of the next generation, so that I have a good retirement.
Well,
So,
Troop, I know I said this earlier. Schools now is all about what you can regurgitate.
That's it.
That's it. It's not really about learning like you should be, or kids' futures. It's all about, hey, can you? I'm going to give you this information, and at this specific day and this specific time, you're going to have to be able to regurgitate it. And if not, you fail.
You fail.
Doesn't matter how intelligent you are. It doesn't matter where you are in life. It's just if you're able to get that stuff out or not.
That's it. What do you think about that?
Well,
You
well, you talking about I just feel like I taught kids after an after-school program for the Salvation Army for a little while.
Yep.
So I just think that the kids who are, it doesn't matter how intelligent you are, it doesn't, everybody should get the same learning. Some need more than others. But those kids who are intelligent, I feel like the teachers should push them more. They should let their parents know so that they give them advanced work. That's what they do in the charter schools. There was a study where they had two groups. They told the teachers one had higher IQs and one had lower IQs. And so the teachers thought the kids who had lower IQs, those were the kids with the high IQs. The ones that they told, they did the opposite.
Right,
Basically, the way the teachers treated them, the kids with the higher IQs got lower test scores because they treated them like they were dumber than the kids with the higher IQs. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I just feel like teachers, they're very important in our kids' lives, and they're the ones that are not there. They're the ones that are there when we're not. So, shout out to them. They don't get paid enough, and just bring up anybody you can and help the world. That's all I gotta say.
I don't
That's
know
right.
if they get paid. I think they get paid plenty.
Who, teachers?
I think they get paid.
They don't get paid enough.
they
My
don't
mother
get
was a teacher.
Right. We're acting like, then you're saying that they got a burden because they have to teach our unruly bad kids. I don't think so.
True, when a person can make a song called Hose and stuff like that and make more money than a teacher makes, there's a problem with the pay scale in the country.
There's a problem that, nah, I ain't going there. I ain't going.
Well,
So you really think teachers get paid plenty?
I think teachers get paid plenty. It's a big, high position. You go into the position knowing what you're getting. So if you're going into the position to be a teacher, and then once you get in there, you find out, I should have been a businessman, or I should have been this and everything, because they get paid more money than me. I don't think the standard's is there. The part of work is the joy that you get out of the work, the satisfaction that you get out of. Teachers have a great privilege, and it's not a responsibility, it's a privilege to mold the future. It's like, come on, and if they can only think about that they don't get paid enough, then they're not doing their job. That's just me.
Well, the thing about the pay is that there's competition. So the more a job pays, the more people want to actually go and do well at that job. So if we're paying teachers more and they're competing and being better teachers, your children are going to get a better education. And education is the most important thing when you're developing. I mean, President Obama's mother used to wake him up and make him, I forget the thing, make him read, or it was something. She was training him, and that was education, and he became our president. So I feel like if there's competition, if they get paid more, they'll be better teachers, and we'll have better education.
I can't deal. I don't go there, because it's like, that's just saying right now we got a bunch of teachers who don't care anything about the kids. Well,
That is a problem.
You just said that
is a
if they
problem.
get paid more, they'll do a better job. No, they signed on for that job. It's like you went to school to be, I hope they went to school to be a teacher, and they learned how to be a teacher and stuff. You went to do that. Nobody forced you, nobody twisted your hand. You could have went to school to be a doctor if you wanted to.
Still, the importance of the position, raising the future generation, that's not raising, but teaching and educating the future generation. The importance of that should reflect on how much they get paid. I think police officers should get paid more too.
I think they both, I don't know about police officers, I don't know about either, they're paid too, but I think they get paid a very handsome salary, the teachers. I think they get paid plenty of money.
Do you know how much they get paid?
No, what?
Usually, starting going in, they get paid sometimes $25,000 to $30,000 a year.
Then that's fine. They were a rookie going in. They don't want what
Dealing with your unruly children. Do you think
my
that's enough?
children, my
You
grand,
said it.
My grand. No. I said that's what you're alluding to. That they should get paid because they're dealing with unruly kids.
No, I think they should get paid so that they can teach better and have money to support their families and not feel stressed out and not, worry about things so
Well,
that they can give a better education.
I don't think money can do that. I don't think there's enough money actually to make it as though stress and all those things go away. They don't have the love in their heart to be able to teach the kids and develop them and feel for them. Then I don't think they should be teachers. They could be nurses and doctors and lawyers and things. Indian chiefs.
True. I know what you're saying, but you're talking about specific types of teachers. Teachers who punch in on the clock.
That's what they do.
But no, there's teachers that care about the kids and do a lot more for their kids.
There are some.
And I think those are the teachers that should be weeded out. The good teachers should be weeded out. They should be the ones that have the positions, and they should get paid more. The ones that just punch, oh, I'm here for the paycheck, are the ones that I believe, I agree with you with, are getting paid plenty and getting paid maybe even more than they should be getting paid. But I think a teacher's job is just as important as a doctor's job, as any other job on the planet. As any other job.
Their job is just as important as any job in the world.
Right.
Now on the planet, just like you said. Just as important as the guy who makes bricks to build a building. His job is important because he's building the structures. If he's the bricklayer to build a building for the school, he's building the place where the kids are going to get the education to become the future for the school. His job is just as important as the teachers.
Mm-hmm.
But then you look at it, well, the teachers are the ones who have the direct involvement with the kids. They should get paid more so they don't be stressed. If old bricklayer over there, he gets stressed and he doesn't make the concrete right, the building falls down. Nobody has a job. I can mix all these scenarios up anyway.
You could. I mean, you're making a point. We're talking about people's mental aptitudes and what they're able to do in the future and the math that they're able to do. Are they going to be good at math? Are they going to be bad at math because their teacher wasn't able to handle it? They had too many kids in the classroom.
You can't be a good bricklayer. You can't be a good doctor. You can't be a good anything unless you had a good teacher.
And I'm
right.
I'm going beyond that. The good teacher's the one who's going to instill the love of learning into those kids, so that when they come out, it ain't about making money. It's about doing something that gives them happiness and pleasure.
Yep.
And that. You can't buy that. Mm-hmm. So the money is like, that's why I feel like the teachers get paid enough. They just need to do the work. That's all. If they do the work, then the satisfaction comes from the privilege of molding those kids. That's a privilege. All those teachers that interact with my grandchildren, they don't have the privilege of working with Mason and Matt. Because if they don't do right, they get the dealing with grips.
I hope you're not listening to DCF.
My nieces and nephews are here. My nieces are going to be going to high school here. They actually live in Bermuda. They want to take the SAT, so they have more option for U.S. colleges. They are very well behaved. They are very, very well behaved. And the school would not let them come in for orientation today because they just got over here a week ago. And they have to be registered, and I'm like, why wouldn't you let them go into orientation anyways? They're going to be registering with the school.
Right.
So, but anyways.
Those are rules. That's different. That's administration. That's not teaching. Administration is a whole different animal outside of the teacher.
Wow.
You know, they don't deal directly any longer with the kids and stuff. They deal with paperwork, paper pushing. They deal with, I gotta have the standardized test so that I rate the school good on this here so that we don't get closed down or something like that. They got their own job, but that job is nothing to do with teaching.
Well, I know one thing. I know that I'm smart because my wife goes to Quincy State College.
That's right.
Today was her first day at Quincy State College, and she's happy as a lad.
Yeah.
Is that the same, happy as a lad?
Congratulations.
As a lad, I don't know.
Happy as a lad. She's as happy as a lad. Today's her first day, and I feel smarter already.
And you look smarter.
I feel it.
I think you look smarter.
Okay. Molly, do I look a little bit smaller? You look nice today, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay,
yes,
good. I feel smarter. I feel a little intelligente. You didn't know I was going to drop that word on you right there. But yes, I feel a little intelligente. But, all right, so.
I'm not in school this semester.
You're not?
No, I was moving in January.
Okay.
So I didn't go to school. I didn't take any of the classes I wanted.
That's sad.
It is sad.
So, do you have any idea what school you're going to be going to when you go there?
University of Utah.
University of Utah.
Yeah, the entrepreneurial course that I'm taking there and leadership that I'm going to be taking there.
Okay. All right. So
If it's up to my standards.
if it's
not,
up to your standards.
then I'm like,
So,
smack you around.
Amala, I talked to you earlier this week, and you said something to the effect of more could have been done, and this is just generalizing, more could have been done about what's going on in Texas.
Texas.
Absolutely. This is when I talk about corporations. They all have their charities set up, but when push comes to shove, they do not get up to help. And like I said, one of these airlines, one of these private companies could have put together, you know, a plane of people who are trained and willing to help in this area and put them down there to go and help. And it's so funny that the sheriff down there said, Texans, we don't need outdoor help. Texans can help Texans. One of their police officers, exhausted, fell and passed out of exhaustion trying to help people.
And just died.
He died?
Yes, I just read that. It was just breaking news. We break news here, people. The police officer did pass away from drowning, the first police officer who did die. Yes.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Sheriff, take some help from outside of the Texans, because the Texans can't help all the Texans if everybody's underwater. So if somebody is willing to come outside of Texas and help, take that help. Don't just take the money, take the help as well, but take those extra hands. And that is my commentary on that.
Yeah, I've lived in Houston for years.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
So
Houston is a beautiful place, and what's happening is crazy.
What's happening, definitely what's happening is crazy. Mother Nature just, you can't beat Mother Nature, folks. I don't care how much you want to try
No,
to
you
intellectualize Mother Nature or anything. You can't beat that girl. That is one tough lady. And she don't care nothing about you. You know, she's not your grandmama. She's not your mama. She's not, no, she does not care about you. See, Houston and them, they know about hurricanes and stuff like this. This is what they did. That's why they built Galveston.
Mm-hmm.
No, Corpus Christi. That the one that's in front of Houston?
Galveston is the place where they found out that slavery was no more.
Yeah, they built Galveston as a buffer against hurricanes. That's why they built it. That's all that city was. It was like, we'll put this city right here, build it up and everything. The hurricane comes and hit the city. It's a buffer so it doesn't destroy Houston.
Right.
Mother Nature said, your game plan really don't work all that well. Watch what I can do. You know, I
So-
go around it, coming on the other side.
So we mentioned corporations. We mentioned Mother Nature. It's all surrounding this one little person that I want to talk about, and his name is Joel Osteen. Are you both familiar with Joel
I
Osteen?
am very familiar with Joel Osteen. Yes.
What are your thoughts on Joel Osteen before we continue?
Well, I feel that he is a good man. I feel that the more money he made, the less he became a little detached, but I think he is always close to God. His family's close to God, so he is a godly man. But I feel like the more powerful the church got, the more money that came in, you kind of see them start to get a little bit detached from reality almost. But I listen, my faith is of Judaism, but I do listen to Christian things, and I like Joel Osteen.
Okay, so I won't call Joel Osteen trash like I wanted to. I won't call him trash.
Whatever you want.
To me, I used to listen to Joel Osteen and his stuff, because a lot of people have bad, because they automatically see mega church, they see mega pastor, church pastor, they automatically say he's bad, or he's just robbing them of their money and everything. Me, I like to listen to what he says.
Right.
And what the stuff he was saying, I dug. I didn't have real issue with.
Right.
But then there was this hurricane named Harvey in Houston, Texas, where Joel Osteen's 16,000 mega church is located.
Wow.
And to this very minute, I just checked, he has not opened that church to any people who are stranded, who have no place to go, who have nothing. and he's been criticized by it heavily. They first, on their website, said that the church was flooded. People walked up to the church with their cell phone cameras saying, "This place ain't flooded. Look at it. Even look at the basement. Even look at the garage underground. No water. How is it flooded? This church is not flooded." And then, in response to that, Joel Osteen said, "We're going to collect money for the relief."
It's always about the money.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying.
So I can call him trash.
You know, that's
Go
what I'm
ahead,
saying.
call him
Trash, that man is trash.
That's what I'm saying though. He doesn't want his carpets messed up with people's shoes.
Right.
You know, but
Yeah,
you
you
can
know.
go get the money to go fix that, and that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying people want, Red Cross wants money, this place wants money. They need to they need human beings to go out there and help. Like, what do you remember what happened with Haiti? All that money that they raised, where is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like, so I don't even trust those. I mean, those systems and, you know, and donating. I unless I know exactly where that money's going, I do not donate. I'd rather go out and help.
Right.
You know, myself. So, Joel Osteen, open your church. It's not right. It's ungodly. Open up that church to those people who are suffering.
Okay, so my question is, even if he opens the church now, isn't it still too little, too late?
It's never too little, too late. We saw you for who you were, but people still need
Right.
help. So open up the church.
A Lakewood church representative says, "Lakewood's doors are open now due to anyone needing shelter. We also coordinating with the city as a collection site for distributing supplies and to area shelters. We are collecting diapers, baby formula, baby food, and other supplies. Please bring these items to Lakewood Church, Circle Drive off Timmons Street, where there's no floods." To me, is when the hurricane happened Sunday, correct?
Sunday or Monday.
It's Tuesday.
That is horrible, you guys.
Yeah, so-
No, when that flood.
Should.
We're bad for that.
Yeah. So no, it happened Sunday.
Okay.
Should have been, 2 days. Should have had the doors open. It's not like people were actually drowning, dying. People were actually stranded. The doors should have been opened. And not only did it happen on Sunday and they had 2 days, they and Joel Osteen and that church knew the hurricane was coming. It's not like they woke up and said, "What's this weird weather? Oh geez, where is this coming from?" They knew. They had prior warning, so they should have had the church prepared.
Right.
Saying we'll offer this much space. I'm not saying they have to offer every 16,000 seats they have available, even though they have 16,000 seats available. But they could have offered something. They could have something. And to me, it's too little, too late. It wasn't until it got on CNN, it got on Fox, it got on all these other news sites and media reports. Then all of a sudden they start responding and saying, "Oh, okay, we'll open the doors." To me, and me as being a Christian, that makes Christians look bad.
Right.
I say it makes Christians look bad, as if we don't have enough reason to look bad.
And that's what, my Judaism, that faith actually comes through my bloodline. So, whether most of my immediate family does not practice Judaism. Some of them do. I do. But my mother is a raging Christian. Okay? And there's the difference between a Christian community and a Jewish community. And in the Jewish community, the people are always there helping each other no matter what, no matter when, no matter how. And so, that's the difference between when I look in the Christian community and I look in the Jewish community, that I don't think this would ever have happened in the Jewish community. Their doors would have already been open and prepared as soon as they heard that rainfall was coming down. And I'm not getting religion. I do not like talking about religion. But this is what you're saying. They're making Christian people who are good Christians, who do feed people, who will welcome them into their home when nobody else will, and they're making them look bad this way.
They did.
They
Because
did.
the Muslim community, which is kind of right next door to the Jewish community,
Yeah.
their doors were open.
Yep, exactly.
Well in advance of this stuff going over there. Their doors were open. I think Joel Osteen is more of a businessman than he is. He has a golden tongue. He has a great dialogue. He's able to spin a good story because he takes it right out the good book. you know, from the Bible. But Joel Osteen is a businessman. He got one focus in his mind, and that's making a whole lot of money. He's got a following that falls behind him in this thing. This is just what I see of Joel Osteen, and that's what he does. He, like he said, he didn't want to pay for getting those carpets cleaned and all this stuff. His church is all beautifully decorated, and so he didn't want to jeopardize anything. And he knows that they're going to have down there in the city, or what's the name of that stadium, was open for the people to come to if they could get to it and stuff. I don't think Reliance was open, the football stadium, because it is football preseason, so nothing takes advantage of football preseason.
Nothing takes precedence.
So
I'm smart today. My life was a clean thing. That word came right up. Precedent.
But in all, I don't know if it's fairness or anything like that. I think that this country, we've learned a lesson from the Louisiana Katrina and stuff like that. That you know, you have to respond. You have to have a quick response, but you got to have an even much more solid backup plan and stuff to come in there. Because I was there with Katrina in Houston and stuff, and I unloaded many vehicles of buses with people coming in, and those people that came in there, their spirits were high because they were granted an opportunity to give aid to each other and comfort each other, and that was able to keep their spirits up high and stuff. Their outward appearance, they didn't even want no pictures. You know, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Their outward appearance, they were sickly looking, they were sad, but they still had a glow of human interaction in them that was able to sustain them. Right. You know, and that was powerful to see. And they were able to take care of themselves like that. And then once they started to relax, once they got inside the Lions Stadium, they started to relax. They had to come in and get the checkup. So we had to triage them. I triaged them outside, and then they had to go inside the stadium. Had to walk by a mountain of news media and public appearance people on the right side. On the left side was mountains of food and water and stuff. They had to walk by these two big mountains, like going through this valley to go into a place where they're going to get a tetanus shot, and they're going to get things to clean themselves up and everything. Then they're going to be given a bunk to camp out on. Then the food and stuff was going to be able for them to use. Now, some of these other people, I wasn't happy with them. They were taking water because it's hot in Texas. You know, they was over there, just the water was there specifically targeted for the refugees that were coming up from Louisiana. But you couldn't not say no. Right. You know, you can't have it either. It's a very difficult thing to give aid. It's really a lot more difficult than just running down there and thinking that I'm here with the American something. My wife and her father made that problem would come to light. They went to Haiti, ran down there to Haiti. My wife's a surgeon, father's an anesthesiologist. They ran down there to Haiti, all going to help and everything, all altruistic, all powerful, all going to help. I tried to tell us, you butted into an earthquake. There's nothing there. They got down there and found out there was nothing there. I had snuck some power bars in my wife's little bag that she threw on her shoulder, and that's what they had to eat. And they were sharing that with the other people who ran down there to render aid and stuff. And then the backup plan, it takes time to implement. The military is what usually takes over and puts in the implement. You got your initial, they know they're going to come, all the good people and stuff to come down there and help like that. And then it's going to have a bottleneck that's going to occur. They already know these things are going to happen like that. The bottleneck occurs. The military finally gets activated, and it takes a few minutes to get the military activated, and then the military takes over with FEMA, and then everything starts to spread out like this, and the military disappears. But that's generally how these disaster scenarios kind of work. Because in Haiti, the military took over, grounded all them private flights that were sneaking in. It's like they got one airport where you think you're going up park to play.
I know, they raise so much money though, and there's so much money, so
That
much
was
of it
the-
missing.
Yeah, that was the second
Like-
part, you know?
Millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of
Yeah,
dollars
because
aren't
it-
accounted for.
Then people get caught up with, yeah, we got all this here, let's fix this. This has nothing to do with what the money's gonna be in there. They should have block grant money when it comes in there. They're specifically targeted for this, but it's not. You know, that it gets filtered all around, and then they take care of this, that, and the other thing, and then their communications broke down, and some guy who had cholera went and urinated over in this area, which was feeding into the fresh water, and then you had a cholera epidemic. Yeah, that's not a cholera epidemic.
Oh,
Cholera
God.
was not there in Haiti before. That was some guy, I don't know if he's from India or France.
Oh my God.
Well,
Yeah, the feces and stuff like that he was in the wrong spot. That was a communications breakdown.
Oh, God.
Well,
It's
if
a
you
lot
look-
of things to get a
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
consideration.
If you want to call in, the number is 508-753-2284. Again, that number is 508-753-2284. Also, WCUW 91.3 FM and Souls Arising. Brother David invites you to a gospel brunch with Exalted Praise director Dan Burr and a guest soloist. This is Saturday, September 16th at 1 p.m. Again, that's Saturday, September 16th at 1 p.m. and that's at Bull Mansion, 55 Pearl Street in Worcester, Massachusetts. Don't worry about it. It is free parking. Tickets are $20, includes a buffet and a program. So if you're interested in going to a gospel brunch, that is Saturday, September 16th, and that's at 55 Pearl Street in Worcester.
Worcester.
He
Worcester.
said gospel and buffet. I'm sure you'll be there.
I'm hungry already. Yeah.
Buffet.
All right, so
Alright.
Amala, you said did you say you were a you worked with in behaviorals? Help me
Behavior.
out.
Well, I have a degree. One of my degrees are in psychology, and I basically have a natural knack and a specialty in monitoring, understanding, and analyzing behavior.
Okay, good. So there's a man. I'm gonna tell you about this man.
Not me.
Okay.
And you know he's not true. And you just want and I need. So sometimes, even being a Christian, my head hurts. Meaning, I try to figure people out. I try to figure out what would make people do certain things.
Right.
And it's very troubling to me, things people do. No bail for a man charged with throwing a girl into Lake Quincy.
Okay.
A man.
A man threw a girl into a lake, and there's no charge.
No. This charge is no
there's
bail.
charges. Oh, no bail, no bail.
Yeah, no bail,
Okay,
yep.
and
He was a friend of the family.
okay.
The girl
I
was
gonna
7
ask
years
you
old.
were.
Yep.
7 years old, friend of the family.
7 years old. The man
Okay.
who did it is 35.
Okay.
Let me look and make sure I have this all right. All right, and let me throw allegedly in there. I don't know. People like to throw allegedly in there. Allegedly, he kidnapped the girl at 2 a.m, strangled her, and then threw her into the lake. This is in Worcester. Well, Worcester, Shrewsbury line.
Wow.
Yeah, this weekend.
Yeah, this past weekend. The girl, 7 years old, swam to shore and luckily got to a home, knocked on the door, and then was taken to the hospital. Her grandparents, who she lives with, didn't even know she was gone because she was taken at 2 a.m.
Right.
So they were sleeping.
Right.
So this man now is in court, and it's difficult for me to not want this man stoned to death. Stone him. He should be stoned. I would do the stoning, Amala. If there's a way I could stone people, it would save us so much money on all these injection drugs and everything. Just give me a rock, and I'll be doing it all day to people such as this. What do you think would make a person become a predator like that?
A lot of times it is always in them.
Yep.
It's just that when they get to an older age, they start to act on things like that. They say, if you read up on a little bit on psychology, they say starting from the age of 25 is when people start to, I guess, show some form of mental issues. That's when they start to have struggles, depression, etc. And I think that's,
WCW.
I think that is, it basically, the older they get, the more they feel like they want it, the more they feel empowered to do something like this, and they want to do it, and they go out and they can't keep that inhibition, and they go out and they do these evil deeds. And that was always in him. He was going to do it to, if he didn't do it to her, he was going to do it to somebody else. The reason he did it to her, it was a family member, and it was easier target.
So you're saying you think it's innate behavior that they have?
That he in particular had. I don't think all people, but
no, not all. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he in particular would have done it to somebody if he went after a family member because it was an easier target.
Yeah, I could see the easy target stuff.
It was probably his first time, and he probably would have done it again.
Well, hopefully it's his last time, and then get stoned by Big Will right there. We'll need to stone him.
What's going on there?
Lord.
How y'all doing?
Okay, our stream came in. We're gonna call him the castle.
What?
What do they call those castle people?
What's going
I'm
on?
not gonna call you. What's up?
How
What's
you
up, my
doing?
man?
How you doing, lovely? I see you.
So
Come to
caller, I'm sorry we missed your call. If you call back, we'll try to get you on the air. We did just miss a call, unfortunately.
Talking about behavior, it's kind of interesting. I studied for a while these kind of survival skills and stuff like that, and in some of the studies I found out that it alluded to the fact that children have a much more highly intense survival skill than adults.
Really?
Yeah, that little girl had no idea that it was like she was thrown in the water, I don't know at what depth or what length. The depth was irrelevant. And the length became irrelevant. The only thing that became irrelevant was, I'm going over there. So she's able to swim where an adult's thrown in there, well, oh man, it's deep, I'm going to drown, I got to swim all this distance and stuff. And they wear themselves out with the stress. So, it was, I don't know, it's not, to me it's very, very interesting to see that thing so close to home to this stuff, this behavioral type of happening phenomenon that actually works. Because I think if that little girl was a little bit older, she would invoke those adult-like hurdles to put in the way, and she may not be here today and everything.
That's actually fact. They say the older that you get, the more that we absorb, the more fear that we have, and that children are fearless. And they have that, they're still a sponge, they're still absorbing knowledge, but there are a lot of things that they don't know. And so because they don't know these things, they don't have this fear in them, and they're able to do things that as older people we might have fear doing, because that child doesn't know about it, they're fearless. Like, I went to Six Flags one time, this kid was 5 years old. This was the scariest roller coaster in the place. This little kid, first of all, I was scared. I closed my eyes the whole way. I came off of that thing saying I will never go back on it, and the little kid was like, I want to go on that again. I mean, when I tell you he was tiny, he was like 5. I was just like, I was amazed. I went to his father and I said, listen, if you ever want to make him a Marine, make him a Marine, because that's I will never go on that roller coaster again. And he was ready to go on it again.
The kids are like that. I was alluding more to the fact that I read some case studies and stuff like that. There was a plane crash one time, and the survivors were all right there. It was in the Amazon and stuff, and the survivors, all the adults, they want to stay put. But I think a 12-year-old girl, she wanted to stay put. She says, I'm not, and she walked out. They all died.
You know what's, and when I was younger, there was a bus that stalled that was rolling down the hill. I jumped out of that.
Yeah, and it's amazing
Oh my God.
what kids can do.
Hold on, man.
So,
I would
come on,
still
check in,
jump
sir.
out.
Check in,
I'm
sir.
not going downhill in a
Y'all know me snatch on up in the
you're
bed.
not.
You know, I got a couple questions. So
Crazy
what
man.
done happened with
All right, I'll tell you quickly. A family friend was at a house with the grandparents and the 7-year-old girl. At 2 in the morning, he abducted the 7-year-old girl. He strangled her and then threw her off a bridge. You know where
And this
Shrewsbury and
happened
Worcester, you know where Shrewsbury and Worcester meet?
Yeah.
You know the new bridge that they have?
Yeah.
Threw her off that bridge into the water. And she swam to shore. And she still had the marks from the strangulation on her neck. And now the guy is in jail, 35 years old, black man, Worcester resident.
in
Well,
jail?
we're gonna stone him.
We want to stone him.
Yo, let me ask y'all something. Like when y'all when a law's broken or when not a law, forget the law. I don't forget the law. When wrong is done.
Wrong is
When
done.
wrong is
Yes.
when wrong is done, because laws don't necessarily mean right or wrong. It just means
Okay.
it's how we got money.
Alright.
When wrong is done, if we like do not feel compelled to call the police, do y'all think like and we call like community individuals to handle this? Like I don't even know this family. I don't even know this family. But if I received a phone call and this is what went on, I'm not gonna call the police. I'm gonna go on over there.
Tune him up.
I'm gonna make him run to the police. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna make him, because that's what they want. Nobody fear the police. Like, what, he finna get 3 hots in the cot right now?
Yeah.
He probably, like, well, you know what I mean? He probably getting better than what he got out here.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You never know, but he probably getting better than what he got out here. So it's like, he committed crime and
You know that your thing is really adequate.
Is that too radical? Is that too radical?
Yeah.
Don't call the police.
Yeah,
Call
that's what I'm
me.
saying.
No,
Let's
don't
not
call
let
it
it-
radical.
Let's not let that be an eye for an eye, because let me tell you, if in jail, he's going to be getting a lot of, what do you call?
Gonna get a lot of eyes.
A lot of butt envy, so after what he did, so let him go to jail, eat that bad food, and like experience some new experiences.
Man, he probably check in. See, hold on. See, y'all got it twisted, man. Y'all got, I don't know, y'all been watching too many movies. You know what I mean? Like, people go to jail, people check in, and you never see them again. Especially those sex offenders and people who do wrong to children. I mean, it is real, but guess what? They go in and they check in. You see what I'm saying? So it ain't like, chances are they're not in GP, which means general population.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
justice is not being served. He's just doing his time, getting the facility.
Well, I hope his time extends for the rest of his life. You know, that's what I'm hoping that his time.
Rest of life.
Yeah, actually, you know, I think that, I don't know the guy working there, I think the guy should.
Somebody need to abduct him and have fun with him.
you
Well,
know,
he's
that-
black, so
that
he's
might
definitely-
happen.
He black.
He's black, so he's definitely
don't
going
need
to get
my-
more time than other people would, so.
I don't even know about
And you know when
that.
you do y'all notice how when you do wrong to kids, like when these criminals wrong kids, like the time is like he probably get 18 months probation for this, bro. I'm gonna just be real with you. He probably get 18 months probation or with 9 months early termination if you do right. You know what I mean? Like nah.
No, that was his first victim. It was somebody he knew. It was an easy target. That is somebody that would have went and did it again to another little girl.
Yeah,
he
but
would have kept on doing it.
But when you talk about the laws of the land, now when you talk about the laws of the land, all these molesters and all, when you do wrong to children, your time is minimal. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you're getting caught selling something, you get 10 years for that, but you're wrong a child. Oh, okay, we're gonna give you 3 years. I'm telling you, I done sat in on these trials, man. The court is public. You know, you go in and sit down and see what's going on. Like what's y'all feel on that? No? Am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong.
I don't know. You're wild, man. I have to stand and think
Tell
and
me if I'm
absorb
wrong.
this.
Help
You
me.
need to talk to me before you get here, so I can absorb what you're saying.
You are not wrong. As a professional Jordan reader, as I like to call myself, because I'm smart, because my wife goes to Quincy. I was able to absorb everything that you said, and I said you are right on the money with it. The laws towards children are too lenient, and they need to be more severe. That is why I said bring in stoning. We should stone people to death. If we stone people like they stone people, Judaism in the Bible, they stoned everybody.
I'm not saying that. This is starting to sound. Have you seen The Handmaid's Tale on Hulu? This is basically what they did, and it's taking it back to
To stoning?
Stone man.
They stoned people who
Oh, that's
for
exciting.
their offenses and hung them and all these things. That stuff is barbaric. Let them do whatever.
Yes.
Hold on,
Yeah,
man.
I
Hold on.
mean,
Time out.
That we don't need to do
What y'all
that.
think about like public
Not a lot.
execution? Like, do y'all think crime would be as high if we had like this is what happened?
No, because
when-
people are sadistic and they would want to see
Oh, let me
that.
see, let me see.
But would they want to do crime?
Yeah.
Would they want to do the crime too for that to be done to you? Like, would they want to do the crime? You know what I
Who
mean?
knows? Some people are crazy. They might.
We have other nations. There's other nations in the world that we have to go on.
They do that.
Some places they steal, they cut off your hand.
So
Some
what?
Yeah.
places,
What their crime rate looking like?
the crime rate is not. Listen, there's more people in jail in America than other countries for a reason.
I rest my case, Sean.
They put death row takes too long. You get put on death row. Death row takes 10, 15
And we
years.
taxpayers paying it like-
right for 15 years.
It has to
Look at
though,
which-
because that
which-
guy that got the stay now after he's been there so long.
Yeah, after they
come
found
on,
out his DNA wasn't on the
They,
knife.
yeah, they need to have some time.
Not
to figure
15
that
years.
out.
Though. 15
I think
years.
every-
That's a little too long.
Every case after the year of 1980 something need to be revised, reject, all that. When 1960, 19, because they act under the color of law. Do we need to find the color of law?
What year did the show CSI come out?
There we go.
Whatever
we
year
need a date.
CSI came out, from that moment on, everybody should be stoned.
Dang, I ain't saying that.
Stone them. Listen, I would do it. I'm telling you, like, if you brought me a child molester
Yeah,
right now,
yeah.
I'll put a bag on his head,
yeah.
and I have a stone, and I just drop it.
Yeah.
What?
We'll like stoning.
I'm a fan of stoning. Every time I read in the Bible, they said that when the kids were misbehaving, the elders would take them out of the city and stone them. I bet them kids weren't acting out like they was acting out in the 90s, in the 2000s. I bet them kids wasn't talking about, no, ma, I don't want to drink my milk. You drink it, and splash it in the face. I bet the kids wasn't acting like
Wait, hold
that.
on.
Well, that comes from love and hip hop and basketball lives. You better not let them watch those shows. I've never seen so many drinks spilled in people's faces in my life.
right.
Okay,
My
I didn't even know
goodness.
that was a thing.
You know what? I think it make perfect sense. See, if we can't control our kids, if we can't discipline them,
Yep.
you see what I'm saying? Then once they go out and about, you know what I mean? Then that makes it easier enough for DCF to get. So we get on this topic.
What I think having a little bit closer to what I think is real
What's up?
is that we've taken crime and we've taken morality and we've taken these two and we've meshed these two together till we can't figure out the difference. So if somebody does a crime, the first thing we look at is a moral issue. So is it a moral issue for this guy to be choking the little girl and throwing him off the bridge, or is it a crime for this guy to be choking this little girl?
And what we
throwing her
have
off
here
the
is
bridge?
both.
You have both, but you look at it from a moral perspective and everything. The poor guy, and from your thing, he'll only get 18 months. You look at it from Will as a crime, stole him. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is what we do when we do crime. We're looking at them and we mesh these two issues together like that. Like I said, we're having a hard time trying to figure out which is which and when should we invoke one or the other.
Oh,
You
man,
know?
shit, you know.
So when is the moral issue and when is it a criminal issue? Or
Right.
when is it both, and how do we administer justice on those on this one issue that has two faces?
I think, right?
Kill him.
No,
Stone.
We
like,
have
we
10
stole it.
minutes on the clock, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So what I just want to say, again, this is Amala, is that, I've kind of been figuring out a way of what I can bring here. So I will bring my psychology perspective. So I'll let
Okay.
these guys know. I'll do a little studying up on that. And then, we all have a little bit of understanding in psychology, diagnoses, whatever you want to call it, within us. So maybe we can start a conversation with our listeners and get some more calls in and
Yes.
and see what you guys want to hear and what you want to talk about, and that's what I have to say.
feedback from the community. Feedback from the community is important. We need, because we need to know. Like, do we call the police or do we call the community? You know what I mean?
Social
Well,
service.
there's before we go, there's breaking news. There was a shooting in New Mexico, a mass shooting at a library, which is begging the question, which is bringing the question of should civilians still be able to carry guns?
Wow, perfect. Yes.
No.
Yes. Listen.
No.
Okay, hold on, time out. See, I don't know who he was, what color he was, I don't even know if it was a he, I don't really care. But all I know is, if you walk up in a spot and you got a gun, and you look around and everybody else got guns, you're less likely to shoot. Because you know if you start shooting, you will be shot. You know what I mean? But if you walk up in a place and you're the only one with the gun, then of course, then you more likely to pop off. Don't make sense. It's checks and balances, right? Don't make sense.
It does.
If you nuts.
No.
No, what you're saying does make sense, but here's the problem with it. Here's the problem with it, right? The shooting in I think it was Colorado. Well, I believe that guy was he passed the test to legally own a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
They all passed the test.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're all passing tests. So either there needs to be no guns across the board, or they need to really reevaluate their tests. Their testing, because just like Amala said, that's in them. It's certain things are in you when you're younger, and it comes up when you get older. You can pass a gun test, and then all of a sudden you got someone crazy. All of a sudden Jordan come up in here with a gun wanting to shoot everybody because he tired of GCF.
I don't need no gun to handle my business first and foremost. Anything not bolted to the ground could be a potential, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need no gun. Now, what it is?
I take that gun away from them. I figure they got guns, I take it.
Trooper Joe's done it before.
Like, what talking about? Isn't our constitutional right? Isn't our constitutional right to like to bear arms? Like, what does that mean? Like,
It is, and I love guns.
What does that mean?
And I love going to the range, but it's for sport.
So if it's our constitutional right to bear arms, then why do we need these texts? You see, like what's up with these texts?
Because not everybody should be armed.
So how do you determine who should have a gun and who shouldn't have a gun?
I don't know why they determined it like that.
Not
but I know
why,
that
how?
they got rules in there. Like if you live in a high crime neighborhood and everything, they're going to generalize and think that you're a high crime individual. It's going to be harder for you.
So what we're talking about is if you have money, if you don't have money.
Exactly. If you got money, you're going to more likely be able to purchase a gun and be having a gun and stuff.
No.
If you don't have any arrests or anything, if you don't have any outstanding mental illnesses, or if you don't have anything
but how do you
like
determine that though? Because the guy that shot up the club in Orlando, he had none of this you talking about. He passed all the tests you talking about. The guy that
But
did
he
this
was
shooting.
on an FBI watch list for a long time.
I mean, how many people? All these shootings. Just think about how they got all these guns. Now, most of them are like, I don't want to go to the race thing, but I'm just saying
You
most
can
of them.
buy it online, or any of us
And
can go to a
you're-
gun show and buy it.
You can't
You
understand.
can buy your time out. You just told me you could go to a gun show.
God.
You can order a gun online.
Anybody can go to a gun show and buy a gun as long as you are a resident of that state. You do not need a gun license. You can go to a gun show and buy a gun, and I am not.
Well, that is
telling
true. That is true. But what I'm saying is, like, for people who, for felons, you see what I'm saying? Like, just because you're a felon don't mean that well, anybody can shoot anybody. A little girl just shot her trainer with a Uzi. I don't know how. Anybody can shoot anybody. So all this.
A text that says prohibition doesn't work, never has, never will. It just creates an underground market more profound.
This is from one of our listeners?
Yep.
Okay, can you read that again?
Prohibition doesn't work, never have, never will.
Mm-hmm.
It just creates an underground market more profound.
And you are correct.
I agree with you. Did you have a name, our listener?
Yes. Shout outs to Brother Ron.
Brother
Ron,
you on point.
I absolutely agree with what you are saying. That is very true.
I agree with it too, there, Brother Ron, that we're people. That's the biggest problem with rules and regulations. We're people. If we put rules and regulations on pit bulls, they'll have to do what they say or we stone them. We're people.
Thank you. Stone them.
Man.
We really don't have any real recourse.
People shouldn't be allowed to have pit bulls.
To break the law. If you pass the test, you pass the test to get a gun license. You can have a gun license. That doesn't mean because you have a license to carry a gun that you can go to Harvard. It means that you got a license to carry a gun. It doesn't make you smart.
So you telling me that
it doesn't make you moral. It doesn't make you good.
No, it doesn't.
Have you been to
I absolutely agree.
Have you been to these stores and like do you know the animal? Do you know the meat you're eating? Do you know the animal you're like? Because these guns, see, people are like, that fear you're talking about, is the psychologist sitting over here, that fear you're talking about, it's like, oh, don't have guns because people are going to shoot me. Time out. Maybe someone wants to provide and protect for his family. Maybe there's a real man out there who wants to go hunting because he don't want to eat McDonald's. You know what I mean? Maybe he wants to protect from the people who might run up in this spot. You know what I mean? It's not always, oh, I'm gonna go shoot somebody.
Or it's sport. I like guns for sport.
You know what I mean?
like to go to the range.
Yes. So when they take
Fine.
these liberties away from us, it's like, hold on, man. You now you're taking away my right as a man to
Wait.
provide
They
and
didn't
protect my
take
family.
away the liberty.
Huh?
They didn't. If you pass all the
test, what test you talking about?
all the list of things, if you fall within the passing, you can go get
If
it.
you rub your head,
You can
rub your
get a
stomach,
license.
stand on one foot, lean over, and say rub a dub dub 3 times, you able enough to have a, like, does that
If
really
you-
make sense?
If you
Yes.
can pass those regulations and those things like that, you too can go get it. Go try it.
That's
As long as you didn't have a criminal history,
Yeah.
there's certain things.
I know I can go get a gun. I have no problem go getting a gun license. I already know that.
see, the issue is,
I can get a federal gun license. I already
Yeah.
know that.
see, the issue,
You know,
okay.
Trooper Joe doesn't play. He's undercover brother over here. I'm scared of him.
See, I'm talking, man, we got like 2 minutes. We got like, damn, boy, we need to follow up. Well, I like this one right here. What's up about this round?
I'm ready to
Oh
talk.
my God.
I'm ready to talk about this. I'm ready to talk about this next week. We can continue this conversation because I am for one who says either if it were up to me, there'd be no gun. No,
Me too. No gun.
no guns for civilians.
For police, what?
Or if you for
No
sport.
Police will have guns and civilians will not? No, man.
Hey, what
Police
country?
don't need guns either.
Nope.
Okay.
Right. Exactly. Police don't need guns either.
That's the first thing.
What
Look
country
at-
isn't there a country?
England.
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 Police
Yeah.
officers don't have guns.
And now, what that crime rate looking like?
England,
It's-
Scotland.
Can't be worse than America.
It's-
There's more people that's chill.
I'm trying to tell you
It's
something.
not bad. It's very low. It's a very low crime rate, and they also have CCTV. They have cameras everywhere. So if you
Yeah.
did something bad,
We're
they're gonna
watched a
get
lot.
you.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to say, I'll let Trooper Joe or
What?
whoever close it out, is I would love to hear the listeners. I would love to hear what people have to say.
Yes, more listeners call in.
Yeah, and Willie, what's that number again?
508.
Really stoned.
Stone. I'm smart. My was the quick say. It's 508-753-2284. Again, that number is 508-753-2284. If you are looking to call in, we are looking forward to speaking to you next week.
Call.
Us on the subject of gun control and other things. I'm sure Mal has things that you want to talk about. Troop has things he wants to talk about. Please, please, please call in 508-753-2284. Let's show the city of Worcester that we have a voice and we can be the voice of the voiceless. All right.
Shout out to my lovely bride Laura and to my 2 scientists, Mason and Max, and all special officers. Big hood.
Mala?
And I want to also, again, give a good thank you to our listeners for today. And I also want to shout out to Laura because I just heard she was a surgeon. If I ever need help, Laura, help me out.
You don't want that.
Oh yeah, just not that kind of surgeon.
Oh.
And
No, I'm joking.
Go.
a texter just said all that stoning talking makes it sound like I'm William Trump McNeil. Not Trump McNeil, William Trump McNeil. And
But
I
your
like.
wife goes to Quincy.
That's right. I'm smart. My wife goes. I'm not smart. I'm smart. My wife goes to Queen State. I'd like to give a shout out to all my people joining.
Yep, Sal Snell, John Sign, and after Trigger said all the Blastville
Oh
the
my
one
God.
time. You know how we get out.
Our rapper guest.
Ain't it this year? You ought to know me. Let ride.
All right.
We'll always have a
Troop.
rapper guest. He has the same name every
Troop,
time.
you didn't
What's
tell me
the
to have
name?
that fun.
What's your
Go ahead,
name?
okay. You shouted him out.
You're in tune to WCW.
Yo, y'all know I was like chilling.
FM, community radio serving Central Massachusetts, online at wcw.org.
The Clementi course in the Humanities is seeking applications for a free college-level course in the Humanities. The Clementi course gives you the chance to earn college credits and introduces you to some of the world's greatest writers, thinkers, and artists. Classes meet 2 evenings a week for 8 months. This is your chance to have a college experience and join with like-minded individuals as you discover the humanities of humanity.
Oh yeah.
Sponsored by the Worcester Interfaith, Mass Humanities, and area colleges, Transportation, books, and
I just turned it
childcare
off.
provided to
Oh,
low-income
live.
folks in charge. Applications
forgot we were
are